Whoa! This is the Illusion reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. I'm up here checking the surf right now, and it's the tide just changed from like a pretty high tide. There's a swell coming in, so I'm just kind of taking my time. So I saw this dude checking the surf, and he reminded me of a buddy of mine. And then that kind of triggered off some memories. So this buddy of mine, we all went to Indonesia together, like a whole crew of us, like 10 years ago. We went to Indonesia. It was put on by this rich dude. So he paid for the boat. All we had to do was pay for our airfare. So the boat was all taken care of by this dude. And the guy who was kind of coordinating it all was my buddy. So I got in on the thing. And we went over to Indonesia, out to the Mentawai Islands, and we're on the boat out there. And I was sitting here looking at this guy thinking how much he looked like my buddy. And it triggered off this story. So we pull up on our first morning of surf. And my very first wave of the trip, my buddy like snakes me, like just stuffs me on this wave. And this might be why I'm not going to paddle out here. It looks like a full closeout set. Let's see what's going on here, dude. Oh. And so my buddy snakes me on my very first wave of the trip. My leash, like, comes undone, my board goes in. I'm like, what the heck, dude? And so I paddle back out. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Why? Like, he's like, I'm joking around, and I snaked you because you can actually surf. And I go, that's totally like messed up, dude. Like, what's your deal? And a little bit of a backstory that my buddy has had some mental health conditions, a little bipolar and all this stuff. So we already knew all that going on. And then, so that we're on the trip, right? And from that moment forward, it was just the madness of my bro having like a bipolar episode. So bipolar is like one of those things like sleep deprivation's like part of the trip. So they don't like to sleep because it like gets them like sort of like high in a weird way. And so my buddy wasn't sleeping. He was getting crazier and crazier as the trip went on. So it's now like 3 or 4 days later. My buddy's been getting loopier and loopier to the point where, like, after the third night, the captain of the boat comes down and he's like, if this dude's up on the bridge again, I'm gonna use my machete on him. And we're in like international waters, so like I have the right to like fully like kill this dude with my machete. Yeah, I remember this at the captain's table for dinner that night. It was pretty wild. And so my buddy was running, like losing his mind, going crazy. And so we were out at this wave called the meat locker. The meat locker. And it was this just reefing right-hander that like closes out at the end. You gotta like thread the needle and squeak out. And so we're surfing the meat locker. Me, my buddy, and another friend of ours. And so my other friend, who is like a lifeguard type, like actual LA County lifeguard type, we're paddling around at this wave. There's just the three of us, and it's like fully sketchy and like hectic. And my crazy friend is paddling like 2 feet behind my lifeguard friend, like just following him around wherever he goes, just like paddling around out of like you know, like a dog if you had a treat, right? And my buddy's like my lifeguard friend's like, what are you doing? Like, stop following me. He's losing his mind because everybody on the boat knows that our friend is kind of going crazy. And he's like, so what he's doing is he's paddling deeper into the impact zone to fully like get this dude to like stop following him around. And the wave's all heavy and gnarly, and it's just like the scene, the three of us. So my buddy's trying to shake this guy by paddling into the impact zone and getting him deeper and deeper. And you got to know, my friend, like the crazy friend, is like a pretty good surfer, dude. Like kind of the real deal. And so I'm sitting out there in the lineup. My lifeguard buddy's losing his mind that this dude's just won't stop following him around. And I'm sitting out there, and he's like, so my bro's like big, like big, like 220 big, like big and bulky and kind of gnarly. And so he paddles up to me, and like his face had like morphed over the couple days of no sleep and stuff. So he had like this giant swollen forehead. It's all I can explain it as, is this giant swollen forehead. And he paddles up to me, and he gets like right in my face, and he's like, Hamish, you know that there's a boat over the horizon, right? Just over the horizon, and it's listening to us right now. It's listening to every word we're saying. And I'm trying to protect you because they're going to kill you. He literally says they're going to kill you. And I'm looking at my friend. We're out at this super sketchy water. There's just the three of us. My other buddy is just fully like not having any of it. He's on the inside. The wave's super sketchy. My bro's forehead is all swollen, and he's like, I'm trying to protect you. They're going to kill you. He's all like crazy, and they're listening to every word we're saying. It's just over the horizon. And I look at my buddy, and I'm just like, F this, dude. And I just paddle into the little penga, dude. We have, the little boat, the little tender boat. And I just paddle, and I get in the boat. The waves are pumping. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. Is sketchy, dude. Like super sketchy. Cause like the wave's sketchy, but my bro is like losing his mind. And he's telling me that he's going to protect me from the boat over the horizon that's going to kill me. So I get in the panga. We all head back after, because my lifeguard buddy's not having it either. So we're just like done with the session. We head back to the main boat, and we're like, all right, group meeting. Like, this is insane. Our buddy's losing his mind. I'm like, I'm not. They're like, so it comes down to like, they're going to have a vote to kick this dude off the boat. And I'm like, look, I'm not participating in this. Like, I live with the guy. Like I live at his house because his mom had me be his like kind of caretaker. So I'm like, I'm not voting on this. Like, I'm going surfing. So I go out and I surf this wave we're at. I forget what it was called. And I'm scoring. I'm surfing by myself. I'm getting a bunch of waves. My buddy is lost his mind. And I remember earlier in that morning, we were surfing the wave in front of the boat before we went to the meat locker. And I remember my buddy's a super like good surfer, like waterman type. And we were surfing, and all of a sudden I watched him like paddle for this wave, and he drops in and he sets up to get in the barrel, and he just like abandoned ship. Like, he's perfectly set up, and he abandoned ship on this wave. And I was like, whoa. And I think his leash broke, and all of a sudden I remember he popped up. He's like, what do I do? He like had the fear. Like, I don't know if you know, like the fear. He had the fear, and he's like, what do I do? And he's all like scared. And I remember just being like, dude, like, just swim in and get your board, man. Like, what do you mean, what do you do, dude? Like, and so that was like sort of a harbinger of the day, because I think we were like 5 days in. So they have a vote that night that we're going to kick this dude off the boat, and one of the older dudes who's known this guy forever is like, I'll volunteer to go back early and take this dude to the psych ward back in Los Angeles, dude. So we're all like worried because there's a plane transfer in Hong Kong. Like, we get this crazy flight. We're doing the ship to shore radio to his mom back in California. We're ship to shoring. It's this whole like crazy scene. And we're like, all right, like, what are we gonna do if he loses his mind I forget where the stopover was. It wasn't Taiwan. It was, I want to say it was Hong Kong, but I think it was Hong Kong or Singapore or something like that. And we're all worried because, like, this dude's having a bipolar meltdown. And so, move the ball forward. I come back from Indonesia after the trip. And I'm like, I have to go pick this dude up from the psych ward. I gotta go pick the dude up from the psych ward, dude. And I pick him up, and he's like, I remember I pick him up, I pull the car over to the side of the road, dude, and I go, listen, man, you have 24 hours to actually, like, kill me. And if you don't kill me, dude, you're never allowed to say you're gonna kill me again, dude. Because at some point on the boat trip, he said that was like right at the captain's table at the thing. He was like, Hamish is dangerous. He's going to get us all killed. Like, it was like the craziest, like, this dude just was like gunning for me. It was so psychotic. The whole scene. I didn't tell the story very well, but that's what I'm thinking about. Like, because I saw the dude who looked like my buddy and I'm watching the surf. I mean, it looks pretty decent, dude. Look at this wave. I don't know, dude. It looks like a lot of work for not a lot of reward. I surfed out here yesterday. I don't know. I saw a giant closeout cleanup set when I first pulled up, dude. So I'm skeptical at best that this is where I want to surf right now. Anyway, it's The Illusion. Links down below. Like, subscribe, join, become a member. Adios. Use the name tags.